Batman and Mr. Bloom
Attention Span Test.
Mr. Bloom is one of the most dangerous Batman villains of all time, and this is his entire storyline from the New 52 from start to finish. The entire population of Gotham City was absolutely devastated when finding out that Batman had actually died during his battle with the Joker in the city's underground cave system. So they tried honoring his countless acts of heroism to the best of their ability by setting up a citywide memorial service. But at the end of the day, it still felt like there was something missing and like the city would never recover from his sudden absence. Whether they liked it or not though, eventually they'd have to try moving on and seeing if progress without the Caped Crusader was even possible. But that was easier said than done, especially since his death was plastered all over the local news throughout the following weeks, with anchors constantly reminding them of how much safer the city felt back when he was still alive. However, there was one thing about the Dark Knight's death that the citizens definitely agreed was for the greater good, which was that he wasn't the only one to die in the caves, because the Joker met his fate as well, right by his side. Nevertheless, as time continued passing, it only grew more and more apparent that the city still needed a Batman, even if it wasn't gonna be the original. So after acquiring Wayne Enterprises, the CEO of Powers International, known as Jerry Powers, utilized a vast multitude of her resources to create a super advanced robotic version of Batman that would work alongside Gotham's police force and also with local governments. And you'd think that they'd incorporate artificial intelligence into the suit so it could operate on its own, but instead they concluded it was best that someone was piloting it like a Batman mech suit, which meant that they needed someone who was not only up for the challenge, but who could also harness the same passion and drive that Batman did when it came to serving the people of Gotham. So they started training potential candidates in the GCPD to see who had the most potential, but somehow they ended up settling on someone who didn't even want to be Batman. And you may be asking yourself, who the heck is this guy? Well, I'll answer that question in just a few short moments, but the reason they didn't want the job was because in addition to not feeling like a worthy candidate, they couldn't help but feel like they were disrespecting Batman's mantle. Everything they wanted him to do was so out of character and different from the original Batman. Batman didn't work with the police and waltz around like some sort of public figure. He worked by himself and in the shadows, and they weren't exactly fond of the suit either. But after observing the other candidates, Jerry couldn't help but feel dissatisfied and like none of them were the right pick to fill Batman's shoes. This guy, on the other hand, was different because he knew the city like the back of his hand. And even though some of the other candidates were faster, smarter, and just overall more qualified, there was something about this guy that made her feel like she could go to sleep at night knowing that the city was safe. And that's because he was none other than Gotham City's very own police commissioner, Jim Gordon. And yeah, he looks a lot different than what we're used to him looking like, but buzzing all your facial hair and constantly working out will do that to you. When Commissioner Gordon was selected to be the new Batman, his first mission out